3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome to the All Things ZahraG podcast, where I bring you good vibes, good energy, and wholesome conversations. And today's conversation, I am tapping into a younger self. I am 26, so I kind of wrote a letter to 16-year-old me. And the reason I did this is because I have grown so much since I was 16, obviously. But I also understood that when I was 16, I might not be exactly where I want to be right now, but I'm definitely hit some milestones that at 16, I would have never thought I did it. I never thought that I would be able to sit here and say and just have ticked so many things off my list, but also be so enamored over the person that I am right now. Like, I don't think 16-year-old me would have known that she would be able to go on trips alone and love herself. Oh, I think love herself is such a big thing. And I don't think 16-year-old me would have been ever able to foresee just how excellent of a human being she'll be. I feel like I'm tooting my own horn here, but I'm not exactly where I want to be at 26. And there are still a few kind of dreams and aspirations and milestones I still need to hit and I want to hit. But I want to take this time to kind of focus on all the positive things that have happened to me. I have gone through a lot, especially in the last 10 years. So much changes, so many things have happened, so many people have entered and left. And I really kind of have days where I struggle. I struggle to be happy and content in the space that I am. So I really wanted to kind of focus on the positive things that have happened to me in the last 10 years, the positive things that 16-year-old me wouldn't have thought were possible. And I genuinely believe that this episode is going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be hard to kind of maybe recite my little letter, but I think it's also insightful for everyone to understand that life is already hard. We don't need to make it harder. It's hard enough to worry about I don't have the job that I want. I don't have the salary. I don't drive the car that I want. I'm not able to put a deposit down on a home, or I don't have my perfect partner, or whatever the voices are telling you in your heads. We never really get a chance to kind of sit back and be like, okay, but what do I have? What can I be grateful for? I have a roof over my head. I'm, family and friends that love me and support me. And, I might not love the job that I have, but what has that environment curated for me so far? And I think those are really important kind of milestones and things to focus on, especially when you need to lift your mood up and you need to focus on just getting day by day, focusing on the little things, the small things, the things that make you happy, is really what I'm excited to kind of touch on this episode. 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, so to give some background on 16-year-old me, let's just say in 3 words, I kind of want to put down rebellious, kind, and ambitious. A little bit too, what's the word? For her own good. Yeah, I was a bit too ambitious. I was a little bit, yeah, I was going through a lot. 16 was a time. I literally have brought my diary. So as a flash from the past, and for those listening, I'm currently holding my year 10 diary. So I don't think I was actually 16 at this time, but it's definitely a great space to kind of understand where my head was at. And I'm literally just been flicking through it, and I'm just saying, detention, catch up, detention. And obviously at like year 10, you've already kind of started your GCSE. So you've picked your subjects, you're starting your coursework, you're getting ready for exams. So yeah, to give you a really great idea of this girl is I was ambitious, but knowing what I know now, I lacked so much self-worth. I was so young. Everything people said to me, I would take it. If you called me ugly or fat, like I would genuinely be like taking that on. Like I'll live by it. And I really lived by the self-fulfilling prophecy. So where teachers were saying, Zara, detention, because you need to catch up. I'm thinking, why? Why are you doing this to me? Not understanding that I just didn't see the potential in myself that maybe others saw. And at some point when some teachers kind of already have this this view on you and they don't think you're going to do well, they're not going to put the energy into making sure you do well, and not understanding that this is not just school that's affecting. I've got hundreds of things at 16 kind of affecting me, and a lot is playing a part into the person that I am at that age. 16-year-old me doesn't care. Like, she genuinely is in survival mode. She is sad, but she's happy. Like, I would go to school, I would make my friends laugh all the time. And if I wasn't making them laugh, I was happy, I was smiling. And unless you really knew that I probably cried the night before for other reasons, you would think that I am just living my best life and I am carefree and I genuinely don't care. And that wasn't the case. I wanted to do well. I always knew I wanted to go to uni. I just was not the student that seemed like she was going to go to uni. I was not that student. I was not your, A-star student. I wasn't going to come out with the top grades. Kind of had a feeling that I knew I wasn't going to come out with the top grades. And to be honest, I wasn't putting effort in. So I kind of understand where the teachers didn't want to put the effort in. But where I was being told, there's a possibility that I won't go far and I won't aspire to be the person that I get to be and I won't have that law degree, I took it on. I literally said, sod this. I don't care. If I'm not going to do well anyways, why am I going to try? And I feel like it is so sad for me to think that 16, you're so young, you're so tender, you're just like a little Bambi to you. You're like a little baby. And to have felt all these emotions, it hurts. But to now sit here at 26 and have so much to show for, I think it's amazing. I think this is what I really want to kind of put down on today's episode, is just the growth. It's how much someone can change over a course of a year, 3 years, 6 months, for me 10 years, and kind of come back and go, hey, like, everything you've gone through is to put you in this exact space, in this exact moment. Everything that you've done, every trial, every tribulation, everything you have faced is to have you in this space. You needed to be here. You needed to go through what you went through to be here in this second. And yeah, that it's just such an important message that I want to kind of portray. And I feel like the best way I can do this is by kind of reading you guys my letter that I've actually wrote to my 16-year-old self. And there are certain themes, I cover friendships, I cover hardships, I'll cover mentally where I'm at that age and where I am now. But I think it's so important to kind of show that and reflect that. And yeah, guys, I'm really excited to kind of have you guys listen to my letter in this next part. So This letter is really going to focus on a few themes. It's going to focus on the mindset. It's going to focus on my achievements so far. It's going to focus on relationships. And I don't know why I wrote this, but it's going to focus on grief. I lost my dad when I was 10, and that's difficult for me to say. It's not something I open up about. I don't talk about it much. So it's really interesting that I have kind of covered this in my letter. But like I said, I really want to be authentic and kind of show you guys a side of me that is somewhat important, and I want to say oozes vulnerability. And it's more because so much strength comes from being vulnerable that some of us might not realize. So yeah, here we go. Dear Zara, 16-year-old me. I want you to know that we made it further than you've ever dreamed of. Even though there are many milestones you haven't hit that you had hoped for at 26, I hope you understand that you will become an amazing woman in 10 years' time, and that every day you work towards enjoying the fruits of your labor. Your life is meaningful and precious, and you deserve to belong in this world. Your worth is so much more than you can imagine. At 16, you have very early on realized you're not like your friends. I know you feel embarrassed right now because you failed your GCSEs, and I know you don't think that you are good enough at all. You know that this is the self-fulfilling prophecy and that the world around you feels like it's crashing. You don't feel clever enough. You don't feel pretty enough. You don't feel good enough. And you keep telling yourself you won't ever be. Whew, okay. What can I say to you? You will face challenges. I wish I can say that all that hardship you have faced up until this point is a lifetime's worth and that it gets easier. I'll be honest, it doesn't. What begins to get easier later on is how you deal with the issues. I know you don't want to hear this, and you shouldn't have to. But these challenges only make you out to be stronger. Each time you are more resilient and headstrong than the last. It's a quality that I hope never changes. Okay. You embody the spirit of a phoenix, and for some reason, no challenge is ever too difficult. Yeah, I can say that one again. Okay. I can't mention hardships without mentioning grief. I know you miss bye, and that is Portuguese for dad. And I haven't said that word. I've never needed to say that word in the past 10 years. So that's interesting. And you'll miss him at 26 too. But I want you to know that you made him proud. I don't know what to say, but you had university say bye's name. Not once, but twice. I know he would have cried at the sound of your very ethnic name being called out as you receive your certificates. A little bit of backstory. So for all of you guys that know me, friends and family, know that I have a very long name. And I have always made it a highlight at each graduation for them to call out each and every single name, because there is so much power in my name. And in everything that I want to do, I want to carry my name. I want to carry the importance and the significance with it. So to kind of say this, it was quite deep in my letter. But I'll keep going. Okay. Relationships. People have been cruel to you, and I wish I can say it stopped at secondary school. But you will slowly learn to see those who see the light in you spark, even if you can only count them on one hand. There are people who will love, care, and be in awe of the person you become. I wish you could have learnt this earlier. It would have saved us a lot of tears over the next 10 years. Yeah, I can 100% see why I've said that to myself. And the last bit is that I kind of cover achievements in my life. And yeah, I want you to know that you are going to be so proud of yourself. Your freedom is riveting. You thrive each day to be your best. And the moment you have changed the narrative for how you live your life, you make it all about you. And that's so special. You will see just how bright you can shine because of what you have seen at your tender age of 16. You will have learnt some self-love. And that is a journey in itself. I'll tell you from now, we are not that good at it, but I can promise that we get better. Oh my God, that's so true, because at 16, I did not like myself. Each moment you realize that validation or criticism from others is not what makes you the best part of you will be the day that you can finally be freed from the negative thoughts. And it's funny I've put that there, because that's something that I can't say I've grown out of just yet, but I know it's a journey, and I know how important it is to kind of be free from that and need to move on from not holding myself accountable to what other people say about me. Like, what you say about me doesn't mean anything, but it still hurts. It just at 26 now hurts less than it did at 16. So I think it's really interesting that I've put that there. And my last bit, my little conclusion, I kind of gone to say to my 16-year-old self, I hope, pray, and wish that you continue to shine your light and never let any one person take that away from you. You are nothing short of amazing, wholesome, and beautiful. You will push boundaries that some would have only thought of. Never stop advocating for yourself. Never stop loving yourself with the love that you are so openly ready to show the world. You're 16. The next 10 years will shape you into a phenomenal young woman. And the 10 that come after that, I can only truly predict that they will be the best you're yet to experience. I think that's, Just need to take a minute, actually. Just need a moment to kind of reflect on this letter. And I think that's so important to kind of just take in, because I maybe wrote this about a week ago and I didn't touch it, and it's not as long as I thought it was. And I guess I could have delved a little bit deeper. I could have been a little bit more open, but I feel like this definitely covered a good amount of the kind of the kind of themes I'm experiencing at 26. I sit back right now and I think, Zara, you don't have the job that you want. You're not where you want to be. You know, how can you be so happy? How can you do this? How can you want when you're not where you want to be? Like, you know, I sit here and I think, am I lazy? Am I the problem? When really and truly, reading this letter has shown me how far I've come. Like, this journey has been so tough, and it's really not been like a bed of roses. You know, it's not been rainbows and unicorns. There's been hardship, there's been tears. You know, I'll never forget the day that I broke down and I came out with 3 GCSEs. Like, all my friends around me opened their envelopes and I opened mine. And, you know, they're all excited. They get to do their A-levels. They get to, you know, they were a step closer to their dreams, going to that dream university, doing that dream kind of subject. And I felt like I was 112 steps behind them. My life crashed down that day. But now at 26, to know the hardships that I've faced and the person that I've become outside of that, and to kind of have sat there with 16-year-old me as she cried, as she felt like she disappointed the whole world, as she thought, oh, what is the point of even living? What is the point of even breathing another second? To kind of want to just sit there and hold her and say, Zahra, Zahra, do you know what we're about to do? Do you know the storm that you are about to create and the person that you are going to become? I can't even imagine sitting with my 16-year-old self and saying, Zahra, do you know you get a master's? But to get the master's, did you know you had to do that first degree? I know you came out with 3 GCSEs, but you didn't let that stop you. And there are so many things I wish 16-year-old me knew. But I think that's genuinely the beauty in growth and development, the beauty in learning where love comes from, where self-love comes from, what beauty from within means. Not at those ages where, oh my God, if that boy's calling you fat and you're taking it because you're like, oh my God, yeah, I'm fat. Or if a family member's calling you fat. Or if like, I don't know, a friend or your friend's just saying, oh, Zahra, your curly hair is looking a little messy today. And you're like, it's not messy. It's not messy. And that becomes the pinnacle of you straightening your hair for 4 years. You know, it's those things that I didn't have at 16. The insight that I didn't get, like obviously have at 16. I was a kid. But to now sit here at 26 and see, okay, you know, I've grown so much. I have learned so much. And it's really beautiful. It's scary because I think this also prepares me for my next 10 years. And I'd love to kind of, God willing, see the kind of advice that 36-year-old me would say to 26-year-old me. And I think this is such a interesting kind of pinnacle, and where I can just be like, wow, you know, I've come so far. I've genuinely come so far. And who knows what 36 will hold in store for me. Will it be children? Will it be marriage? Will it be that job? Will it be my career? Will it just be a holiday that has changed my life? And I'm excited. And I think everything happens for a reason. This moment that you're in, the day that you're living, the hardships that you're probably going through, and the things that you are facing with uncertainty, going into the unknown. I want to kind of say that this is all building you to be the person that you need to be. Sometimes it's not the person you want to be. Like right now, I would like to have sat here and said, I'm the lawyer that I wanted to be at 16. I am the friend, or I can pick up the phone and call the friends that I had at 16 to say, hey, how are you guys? You know, a lot of the times we won't have exactly what we want. But the reason that we are in the positions that we are in at this moment is because we might just not be ready for what we want. We might still need that little bit of preparation. And, you know, I believe in God. And if you're a listener that also has faith in God or in some type of spirituality, or just in general, to just have belief that you are where you need to be, not where you want to be, and that is okay. And that thus far, what you have done and what you have achieved is not any less meaningful or any less important or has any less significance to who you are, to what you stand for your values, for your beliefs, for whatever part you take in this world, and that you are deserving of everything. And you are deserving to want to be the person that you want to be. You're allowed to aspire to those things. There is nothing wrong with that. But it's also sitting in what can sometimes be an uncomfortable position and finding comfort in it. Being content in what we have so far and hoping and having faith that what it will lead us to will be so much bigger, will be so much greater. I think there is so much importance that whatever milestone you've hit it's going to take you somewhere. It's going to take you far. Like for me, I was the first to graduate in my family. And not only just graduate once, I graduated twice. And sometimes I get upset because I feel like, where am I going? What am I doing? But having faith that those achievements, those milestones will take me somewhere. I have this belief that I had to go through that. I had to do that. I had to cry. Even if I had needed to cry, yes, I needed to feel that to take me to that step further to where I want to be. I am collecting my tools in my little toolbox. And I think there's an importance of understanding that where you are, no matter at what point, position, whether you feel happy or not, is to find even the little bit of happiness, to be the slight bit content with yourself. And I really encourage for you guys to maybe practice this activity and write a letter to your 16-year-old self or your 15-year-old self or whoever you were 10 years ago to see your growth, highlight the greatness that you have experienced in the last 10 years. Highlight the things that you never thought you would be able to do. And whether that's have a solo trip or, you might have never thought at 16 you'd experience another country or you'd go abroad or you'd take a gap year, and highlight the amazing things that you have learned in the last 10 years. Highlight where you have come to. Highlight your growth because it is special. It is what has made you who you are right now. And understand that the next 10 years, again, you may not be where you want to be, but what will come out of those 10 years? What growth? What development? And I really feel like life is so fast. Sometimes, especially like when you live in London, things are always moving. So many things moving. And we never just get a time to breathe and take in our spaces and be aware and kind of take in our surroundings and kind of like be like, oh, wow, we've made it this far. It's almost always, if that's not done, we need to get that done. And oh my God, I'm working tomorrow, but don't have time to go to the gym, or I don't have time to take time for myself. Someone else needs something of me, or I need to fit in my friends. And all those things are important. But you start to lose sense of yourself. And I think kind of writing back to who you were 10 years ago is definitely an interesting exercise, which will hopefully empower you and make you feel elated and happy at what you've achieved thus far, and help you kind of put in place what you are going to achieve in the next 10 years. And be excited for the person that you will get to see. And be excited for the person that you'll get to become. And be excited for the life that you'll live. And be excited that everything that you have done right now, up until this very point of you even listening to this, is important. It's going to take you so far. And I hope that you guys can also show yourself grace. I hope that you guys can also show yourselves grace. You know, grant yourself grace where it needed to be given. 16-year-old me at that time didn't know about self-love. You know, she didn't know that therapy would help her, or she didn't know that some of the people in her life weren't the right ones. She didn't know boundaries. She definitely didn't know the boundaries. So, you know, give yourself grace. And yeah, I really hope that today, this episode has made you feel empowered, or it has given you a different perspective in life. And I want to end this episode on a quote that I have lived by since I was 18. When everything's been getting hard and I'm not where I want to be, and I need something to kind of realign me. This is the kind of quote that keeps me in check. And it goes, "What is meant for you will reach you, even if it's beneath 2 mountains. And what isn't meant for you won't reach you, even if it's between your 2 lips." Thank you for listening to the All Things ZahraG podcast, where I brought you some good vibes, some good energy, and I think we had a wholesome conversation today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, follow, and all the good stuff. Thank you.